Hello and welcome to Pepperdine Esports. Oh, let me fix my mic levels. There we go. Oh, man. It's so wonderful to virtually see you and be back with some League of Legends action here. Things might be a little bit janky today because we are not in our official new broadcast studio yet. That is coming very, very shortly, waiting on a couple things to get shipped in. But as soon as it is, we will be all good to go. With me today, I have NoRo, or Alex Rowe, who's pretty cool and knowledgeable about League, right?
Oh man, you're making me blush, but thank you. Yeah, I do know a lot about the game, and League is a real big passion of mine. So I just can't wait to watch these exciting games and see who comes out on top.
Yeah, it'll be very, very exciting to see. Currently, we are in lobby getting ready to head into drafting phase. So once we do, whoop, there we
There we
go.
go. There's drafting phase.
Wonderful. And it looks like my home overlay is not working quite yet, but I know we just saw a Kane ban come out from the side of Alvernia, followed by a Trindomir from us. So I will get that on the screen here shortly, but if you want to continue talking, Alex, you can go for it.
Yeah, sure. So Tryndamere right now is a really big power pick right now in the meta. Tryndamere is really going mid. Usually we see him in the top lane, but the new item changes and just the different changes that they added to Tryndamere make him really good in the mid lane. So that's a really good ban against for Pepperdine right now. Now we can see that blue team has also banned Aatrox. So that's probably just another flex pick for Watermelon God because that doesn't really necessarily warrant anything. Aatrox didn't get really much that changes in this meta. And they did ban the Viego, which is kind of interesting because Viego did get nerfed a lot recently, so he's not as strong or as menacing as the original Ruin King was when he first came into the game. Now, I do know Jack MLM is a personal fan of the Zac, so we do see the Zac ban against him. That is going to be real tragic because he does love his Zacs. He's always talking to me about how he loves playing Zac in solo queue. So we'll be seeing what this final ban is. And they've got 2 seconds left, and they do ban the Tahm Kench. That's a really good ban because Tahm Kench can be flexed into the top and support role. His sustainability is really insane, and the amount of tankiness that he can achieve is really high. Miss Fortune is the first pick, and this is really good because Miss Fortune is probably the best AD carry in the game right now. She had her ult changed so that she fires more during her bullet time. Yumu's one of the core items for Miss Fortune got buffed because it was cheaper and made stronger, so it makes her an all-around amazing first pick. Now they do respond by hovering with the Draven pick. That is interesting because Draven is very immobile. Miss Fortune is able to poke, but Draven can dish out high amounts of damage, so that is a nice pick. So I wonder if they're going to be going for a flexible mid laner here or support, or maybe even their jungler here, but I feel like they should be saving these mid counter picks for last, but we'll see what they go for. Forgive me for asking, Ramsey, but I forgot the other school's name.
Alvernia, I do believe. Yeah, Alvernia University.
I apologize, Alvernia University. I will not forget it further. So they do lock in the Diana. Now, normally Diana is a jungler right now, but she still does have flexibility to the mid lane. So that is a good pick from Pepperdine University. We're just really closing in on these really diverse picks for the team right now. They are hovering the Jarvan. Now, once again, these are, I guess not. Oh, but they, I guess not. They really do lock in the Jarvan the fourth. Now, this is amazing because once again, flex picks all around the board. Jarvan can be flexed top lane and in the jungle as always, but with that Orianna pick, that just kind of signalized that maybe he might be going into the jungle role just because of how good an AP and AD mid laner are. Santomasi is hovering Yasuo. That is a really nice pick.
Bringing it back.
It does synergize really well with the Diana and even the Draven because they do have forms of CC. Diana with the knockup, the amazing knockup that deals high amount of damage that Yasuo can then ult off of. Draven having that CC where he knocks the opponents a little bit back while dishing out high damages of his own. So far, it's looking pretty even on both sides. Both comps kind of respond to each other in a way. Jarvan the fourth can lock down Draven. Diana and Yasuo not so much because they do have the option of dashing out of Jarvan's ult whenever they so please. A Leona and a Nautilus ban comes out.
Taking
So the
away that
Leona,
Nautilus from Evan Cakes.
yes, and the Leona ban is really good because Leona and Misfortune synergize really well with the amount of CCs and tankiness that Leona is naturally. Pairing it up with Misfortune's bullet time and make it rain just makes that a devastating bot lane combo. So nice ban from the Leona. We'll see who Pepperdine chooses to ban next. 5 seconds left on the clock. No hovering of the banning yet, and they do choose to ban Malphite. That is pretty good because it does lock down the Draven, Diana, and the Yasuo, so they do lose an important front line for Alvernia University.
And historically, Pepperdine has not always done very well into that Malphite, even in games where they should technically win on paper. So banning out that pick is pretty wise for Pepperdine.
Well, you know, Malphite is just one of those champions that could change games despite the state of which he's in. He could be losing, he could be winning, he could be going even. Just how impactful his ultimate is just provides pressure. So by getting rid of Malphite of the equation, that's alleviating a lot of the pressure, unnecessary pressure on Pepperdine. So that's a really good ban pick right here. Interesting pick. Now, this is a personal bias of me just personally. They do opt in for Rel. Now, Rel does have good synergy here because, you know, she herself doesn't even need to be the one engaging, even though she should. Orianna, Jarvan can give Rel the necessary tools for her to make her own engage. But Rel, in my opinion, is the actual... I don't think she's that impactful because she relies too much on her abilities. And with Draven and Amumu in the equation right here, it's really hard to actually lock down the Draven because he does have that one ability where he can push people back. Amumu's ult can counter engage. So Rel, it doesn't seem like a good response to the Amumu in my opinion. But I am liking this Ornn pick. You know, it does give them valuable engage while, you know, Ornn gives the passive buffs. But overall, it looks like a favorable draft for Pepperdine. Yasuo is able to win while most of these things. And with that Ornn locked in, that does tell me it is Jarvan the Force, so we'll be looking at Jarvan in the jungle. With Set picked up for the Watermelon God, which is another good pick because, you know, the more damage Set takes, the more damage he dishes out. So that's also a really good pick. Set is also really good in this counter engage comp because if they do choose to engage, Amumu, Diana, and Set can counter engage and then turn the fight around. So overall, it's looking like a good comp for Pepperdine, but both comps answer each other's in a way. So we'll see how it plays out during the laning phase. So what do you think about each other's comps?
Well, I definitely am excited to see this Amumu pick in the support role. I know that it's been around for a little bit, but it's always very, very exciting to see. And overall, it seems like Pepperdine's just playing to their strengths. Unfortunately, we can't comment quite as much about the Alvernia University comp and what is the normal comp for them. But I do know Pepperdine seems to be playing into what they do the best. But I do know something that we should make sure all of our viewers are looking out for is Jack MLM, one of the new players this year on the Pepperdine team, to see how he does in that jungle spot.
Yep, it is going to be a great game to see. Jack does have, once again, I said this before, but he does have the synergy with the Yasuo. Diana's ultimate is really well. We've seen this at MSI when Dom1 Kia pulled it out against Destination Focus Me. But overall, Pepperdine's draft is really good at disengaging this comp that they have right here. As you can tell from this Jarvan pick, the Ornn, the Orianna, and even the Rel, well, especially because of the Rel, Alvernia University is just really looking to all-in engage. Now, their comp doesn't really necessitate counter-engage because if they do happen to go in, if Pepperdine does happen to engage on them, their ults are much more better used offensively than defensively. Jarvan's ult is much better locking down the Draven so that he has no means of escape, with the Rel following in with her ult, followed up with a nice Orianna Shockwave. So they're just looking into all-in engage right here, but Pepperdine did answer that comp really nicely. They are able to counter-engage. Now, that's not saying that they can't engage themselves, you know, so because Amumu, with the new changes to his Q, the fact that he's able to double bandage toss just does improve his engageability a lot better. Set can engage because with his face breaker and his own ultimate as well. Diana, just doing Diana things, she'll be going in there, moon falling, everyone's going to be knocked up for the Yasuo. So Pepperdine does have the initiatives to engage for themselves, but I think it's much better if they were to just use their comp as a disengaged comp because it does answer Alvernia's comp really well.
Definitely, and that's something that we will have to be looking for during the game. But as we have this last about a minute left before we get into the game itself, waiting on the spectator delay in the client, I do have a few announcements. First and foremost, I would like to reiterate, as we always do, that not only do we have the 3-minute spectator delay in client itself, but this stream is also being broadcast at an additional 3-minute spectator delay. So overall, what you're seeing on stream is 6 minutes behind the action, just to make sure that everything is fair and square. Next up, we do have some additional ways that you can support Pepperdine Esports other than just watching the stream and following us at Pep Esports on social media. You can now subscribe to this stream and donate bits and stuff because we're real streamers now, yo.
What?
So, yeah. The man above me knows how hype that is. And on top of that, you can also donate directly to the program itself through the donation links that are available below this stream. And you can buy our merch. You can buy some sweet Pepperdine Esports swag, including masks, hoodies that you can get your gamer tag on the back of, and other things like t-shirts, mouse pads, all that cool stuff. So as we're starting to load into the game here, just want to let you know of all those awesome ways that you can support Pepperdine Esports and these amazing players that you're about to watch today. But now that we are like 90% loaded in, Alex, are there any last minute comments that you want us to remember as we are getting started?
I did cast one game 2 years ago, and I did witness Santa Masi just doing Santa Masi things, so it'll be a great throwback to see him once again playing in the mid lane for Pepperdine. But either way, I wish both teams the best of luck. I just hope for some great League of Legends actions. So I'm just really excited for the games. Good luck, have fun, Pepperdine. Good luck, have fun, Alvernia. We'll see how the game goes.
And of course, as we are loading in, I want to make sure we say one more special thank you to our sponsor. We are proudly funded by the Pepperdine Student Government Association. Let's get to the game.
Okay, now I do have one question, Ramsey. Do we change it on directed camera and just leave it at there?
I'm leaving it on directed camera because we are not in the official broadcast studio yet. That is funded by SGA. So once we are in there, we'll be real fancy. But for right now, we're back to our roots, doing it like we did when we broadcasted from my attic.
Okay. Okay. So we're gonna, every time Pepperdine gets an ace, we're gonna call that the SG ace right there.
Oh my goodness, I love that.
The SG ace, Pepperdine Student Government ace. There we go.
Wonderful.
Now no longer the association, it's become the ace. Now it does look like Pepperdine is trying to look for an early ward. So they are hiding in this one bush to see if Alvernia is going to be putting down the early ward. However, they are spotted. They did try to go for the counter, or they did try to go for the invade right there, but NACESTarleague did spot them out. And unfortunately, Evan Cakes isn't able to capitalize upon the dragon pit from where he was hiding.
Definitely. So now Pepperdine will go back to trying to defend their jungle. Alvernia does get the deep ward in from Cat 420. 420 is an interesting number up there in the top lane.
Well, you know that they do say that number is blazing and Ornn is a fire god, so that does have some reference right there. But overall, it looks like Jarvan's going to be going for the bot side start. You know, he's going to get the red, but really slowly. I guess he was kind of underestimating his auto attack damage right there, but regardless, he does get it faster than Diana. So we'll be going up to the top lane right now. Now, this is, in my opinion, favored towards the set because Ornn has nothing but engage, and you see right there, just the face breaker and 2 autos right there is enough to just take him down to almost half HP. And you know, the more damage in the tankier that Ornn gets just means that the more damage that Set is going to do, because we all know how his W is probably one of the best abilities in the game.
Builds up quickly and can be devastating with the true damage there, especially versus a tanky character like the Ornn.
Yeah, that is very true. Now, right here, look at this situation at the bottom right here. This is what I'm talking about when I don't personally like Rel. Rel is not a champion unless they get help from the jungle until level 6. As you can see, Pepperdine has easily obtained level 2 first, and it does look like it is a massive CS gap. He does have, Y-Dog does have 6 more CS over Shibuki Ron. And that's just only going to keep going up as Amumu does have more pressure than the Rel in these early levels of the game. Orianna is doing a good job of poking. Now, Jarvan did spot a deep ward on the blue buff, so the entire team of Pepperdine does know he's at the blue. This does enable the Pepperdine bot lane to be a little bit more aggressive because they know Jarvan is just not going to be there in time for the counter engage. As you can see, yeah, wow. Did you just look at that?
Yeah.
Orange did a good trade onto Set, but it was all for naught because one EW combo is enough to do the same amount of damage onto Ornn. So Set, as he continues to farm and gets stronger, is just going to be in for a good time right here. And it does look like Diana is looking to gank the mid lane. But the Orianna is just nowhere near for Diana's range to be going in on anything. So that's just going to be a nice engage right there. However, we do see the Jarvan
Fourth. Looks like we will have some spiciness here with the Jarvan.
Jarvan the Fourth did find Jack, and now he's trying to auto-attack as fast as he can. And that is going to be first blood for Jack. That was a really nice response from Santomasi, and he's going to land the Q, and he's not going to be going any further than that. Santo did ignite the Jarvan, which is why he was able to kill the Jarvan so much faster and why the Diana was able to live.
That was very, very good peel on behalf of Santomasi, being there to make sure that his jungler didn't go down. And we see an engage now from Evan Cakes in the bottom lane. Nisifus goes very low. Y-Doc is able to cash out that gold and get the kill.
Yeah, see right there, like, Rel has no real answer to Amumu right now. She either engages or she runs away. There's no in between. You know, champions like Thresh and champions like Nautilus, if you miss the hook, then, you know, there's something to do afterwards. But Rel is just one of those champions where they really do live up to the name.
Cat 420 felt his life flash before his eyes, but now Watermelon God might be caught out under tower going for this kill. He gets knocked up. Jarvan is there. He's going to run for his life now.
Oh, that's a nice sidestep from the Watermelon God right there. I think he might be able to live, but he does stay. He does get the kill onto Ornn. It's a 1v2. It doesn't matter.
And then Yasuo gets that kill onto Orianna in the mid lane. He will ultimately go down to, I don't know how to say that name, but something Viego.
Xiantan Viego.
I don't want to risk mispronouncing.
Yeah, me neither. I don't want to be rude and mispronounce that name, so we'll just call him Viego, which is kind of confusing because there is no Viego in the game.
It's fine.
but then again, he was banned, so maybe it is justified to call him Viego. But either way, that was really well played from Watermelon God. You know, Set as a champion just is able to dish out so much damage the more damage he takes out. So even though it was a 1v2, because Cat 420 was taken down so low already before the initial engage happened, the Watermelon God was actually able to respond to that with his own personal kill. And if he had had his W back up on time, that could have been a double kill in the favor of Watermelon God. But so far, so good. Really nice from Pepperdine. 3K gold lead. I mean, this is just a draft, in my opinion. Like I said before, Rel has no actual response to Amumu in this situation. We saw that clearly when they got the easy kill onto Rel in the bot lane, when Evan did flash for the Rel.
Look at this CS difference in the bot lane as Pepperdine picks up that dragon, nearly 3K gold up on...
man, like, we can't really blame this on Shibuki Ron. You know, this is more or less just, it's a really difficult lane for Misfortune to look at that. See, you can't even argue that Rel is herself as a tank. That was 2 auto attacks, and she lost half her health already. It's almost like a 1v2. Rel does get a lot of value once she does get her ultimate because it is a really big playmaking support, but that's not to say that Amumu's ultimate ain't that bad either. The shockwave does find Santomasi, and here comes the Jarvan right here. Santomasi's gonna be dead. He has the flash, and does he live? It looks like he does.
I think he lives.
Orianna doesn't have Ignite, which is fine, but if she did have the Ignite right there, that was an easy kill onto Santomasi. But remember, Orianna has TP, so there's not much kill pressure. That is a nice engage right here. Ornn is calling the bull right now, and that's a nice flash! Right there!
Watermelon God!
Flash! It doesn't even matter because Set has the movement speed from Q. I'm just kidding, I guess it does matter.
He's going to die, but he's got
trade. But that is just a statement right there.
Oh,
that's
man.
Just God saying here, I don't need to do anything. Let me just make the game more interesting by just dying for this kill.
We do need to acknowledge that the Watermelon God should not have died there. But he just really wanted that kill because he's way more valuable than the Ornn is. But, you know, style points, style points.
That is style points right there. Now, you can't say he did maybe read. Actually, I'll get back to that right now because it does look like the Jarvan is coming back down. Viego is looking to gank. Look at how much damage right there. You see what I mean? Bro,
oh my goodness.
Because one counter engaged by a
but
move. However, that was a nice response from the Jarvan. But oh my god! That's a two-man knockup from Diana right there. Jack was there for the counter engage, and that is just wow, that's an absolute disaster for Alvernia. That is a 3v2 situation. But considering how long the Jarvan was in the lane first, that's just better for Pepperdine.
Wow, I lost complete track of what was happening there. I got so hyped, but it was not looking very well for the bot lane there when the Jarvan came in and was able to get those picks onto or get that pick onto Wydock, but unfortunately, everyone else from Pepperdine was there. Santomasi and Jack MLM were able to turn that fight around.
Now take a look at Evan right here. He knows that Wydock is in such a huge position that he doesn't really need to be with him right now. As long as Wydock plays safe, this allows Evan Cake to just freely roam around the map because take a look once again at the CS differential, 27 to 69. My goodness. Like maybe like nice. A CS different nice, yeah. Maybe a CS differential like Cat 420 and the Watermelon God is understandable because, you know, as we always say, that Set is better at making these trades against Ornn. But misfortune against this Draven right here, we're looking at a potential support CS to a nice fed Draven with almost 80 CS to his name.
Yeah, we do have to see that not only is the CS so far different between the two, but it amounts to a 1,000 gold difference between this Misfortune and this Draven. And we do see CS advantages coming out across the board with the exception of Evan Cakes on that Amumu, but it's support. The CS is not what you're looking for there.
Take a look at the itemization from the Rel. She did opt in for the plated steel caps. I'm actually not a big fan of this, which is it's understandable why Rel is building plated steel caps. The amount of damage that Draven is dishing out right now is just absurd. Wydock, if anything, could probably
we see an engage coming out from
right
Jack
here.
ML
That is a nice engage onto the Viego. Oh my goodness!
Into the Santomasi ult.
It's the ignite. Yep, it's the ignite that kills him right there. Watermelon God is here, and it doesn't look like Ornn can do anything. All he can do is just run away. Doesn't look like it's actually going to be a kill for Watermelon God right here. But as I was saying before, these plated steel caps just does nothing because if Draven catches you, you're just dead regardless, no matter how much resistances you build. And there we go, another engage by Cat 420 right there. He does go in for another ult. Is he gonna just be going right there for the W? And that is not a lot of damage considering how much HP that Set lost. However, it is looking even. Watermelon God is sustaining his health back up. Does go for the face breaker. The Cat 420 might be dying here because Jack is right here. However,
but we
we're
also
going in
now
for another
have
bot lane
Evan Cakes
combo.
getting caught out here.
Evan Cakes is going to die. However, that is oh my goodness!
Jarvan's gonna jump
nice
the wall and
right there.
go for Wydock.
It doesn't look like but Wydock does eventually go down. But meanwhile, on the top side of the map, they did get the kill onto Cat 420. Jack MLM did roam in time just to get that kill. However, this is better for Alvernia University because they should be going for this free dragon right here because they know Jack is at top or either just recalled.
Yeah, and that makes sense. But I think that little engage there in the bot lane should let you know that Alvernia may be nearly 4K down in gold, but they are not out of this fight. They are paying attention and they're trying to take the opportunities that Pepperdine gifts them.
That is very
true. Evan Cakes engages, gets the double stun.
That was a very nice shockwave. Very poor TP from Cat 420. Thank God he's Ornn. Oh my goodness, Jack, is he going to be going back in? That's a nice stun onto the Ornn right there. However, it looks like they're just going to be taking the drag. Now, unfortunately, Rel did go down there, but they did secure the drag, so all is not too lost. Rel just needs to be in there just to engage. Jack is going in for the engage.
Wow, that was a beautiful combination there. The Amumu Q into, I believe that was Diana knockup into Santomasi just going in. That was wonderful.
Beautifully played. Yeah, that was just really well played from the side of Pepperdine. They're just on the same page. Evan is able to land Amumu's bandage toss. Jack MLM just goes in. Santomasi says good night. It's Yasuo time, baby.
I think it is definitely worth mentioning these fat bags of gold that are hovering over the heads of Pepperdine players, and that MLM has a pretty big onus on him now to not go down.
It's going to be even harder
Alvernia team.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard for Alvernia to even get those bounties on the Pepperdine side. Rel is just a really, it's a risky champion, but it ultimately falls down on the Oriana and the Jarvan, because those two can enable this team to execute and engage so well. It can't be Ornn because Yasuo does have the ability to win wall it, and it looks like that Oriana is going to be surviving this initial engage. Oh my goodness, and that was a nice prediction, but you know, Santa decides not to go in for the final whisper. Jack MLM, he does go back in to the...
Santa Massey engages on the Oriana, uses Ignite.
Oh my god,
and
is Santo just doing Santo things, man! Even flashes to make sure that the damage of the shockwave doesn't apply to him.
Diego is here. Jack MLM is in trouble. He really shouldn't go down here, but the shutdown goes over to the Jarvan, the most fed player on Alvernia's team.
So that was kind of greedy from Jack MLM, but ultimately doesn't really matter because Pepperdine's gold lead is just so far ahead, and the fact that it did go over to the Jarvan is good if you consider it, considering that he is the most fed. But I feel like it would have been much better if it went over to the Miss Sport team. She is just so desperately behind Wydock right now. Wydock, more like, why is my support Rel? It's almost twice as much differential of how much Wydock is just ahead. Take a look at that. She has just reached 66. Meanwhile, Wydock is sitting at a very comfortable 126 CS right now. By far the biggest.
Yeah, amounting to a 1,200 gold difference. And Pepperdine is nearly 7K up in gold over Alvernia right now. It really is Pepperdine's game to lose, but if Pepperdine continues to greed, we could see Alvernia potentially bringing it back, but it's going to be very, very difficult. Pepperdine just needs to not make too many mistakes.
And this is where the difference in team comp just really comes into play. As I said, Alvernia's comp does have the necessary tools to make amazing engages, but that's actually the biggest problem of their draft. Pepperdine's draft is specifically built around counter-engaging their engages. And because they're up so much, it almost doesn't matter anymore, because what initially was a comp designed to stop these engages and just start a counter-engage off of it, now they are free to make their own engages because they're just so far ahead. 8K, or my bad, 7K gold lead, 1,000, over 1,000 of that 7K being from the bot lane alone.
Yeah, definitely Alvernia is feeling the pressure. I should also mention, for the benefit of Twitch chat, that this is a best of one. So this is Alvernia's one and only chance. So they really should be feeling the pressure to bring it back.
And what's even worse about this bot lane is that even if Rel decides to engage right now, they don't win. Miss Fortune is just so behind.
Oh, Cat 420 is in a problem spot here.
Hot. He does have to flash and use the ultimate. Nicely played by Pepperdine. They don't decide to overextend. They just make sure that Ornn loses much valuable summoner spells along with his ultimate. Now, it is also important to note that Ornn is not level 13 yet, so he's not able to give his allies the well-needed buffs that they are in desperate need right now.
Oh, Jack MLM.
That is a nice flash, a two-man knockup from Jack MLM, and that's
into
just,
the Santa
wow,
Massey ult. The Oriana goes down, and then the beautiful... The beautiful Q, their tornado thing from Santa Massey. And Wydock also got a kid. I'm a little out of practice, Alex. It's fine.
yeah, that was a nice prediction from Yasuo's Q too. And I understand. I don't know a lot of the abilities names here either. I mean, I don't even know what Rel's ultimate is called, or any of her abilities. If anything, I won't lie, I don't even know what her passive is because I just don't play her. So
yeah.
But that was well played from Pepperdine right there. You saw that even though Jarvan did lock both of them down actually with the ultimate, it just didn't matter because Jack did go in for the flash knockup with the Diana, and Santa Massey was just right there, immediately able to respond. It is important to note that he did opt in to go for the Orianna, which is smarter because she's squishier but does the more damage of the two. So by going in on Orianna first, that just, at the very least, secures 1 kill. For if they had gone on Jarvan instead, that they could have both had escape. So that was really well played by Pepperdine right there.
Definitely. And I do want to just draw attention to the fact that there is now that 10k gold difference, almost 10k gold difference in the favor of Pepperdine here. Every single player on Pepperdine has a gold advantage on their counterpart on Alvernia, and so it's going to be just extremely difficult for Alvernia to be able to get anything out of this game.
Really smart itemization choices from Pepperdine. You can see that Evan Cakes opted in to go for the Locket of the Iron Solari, which just makes it even harder for Alvernia to engage because it gives a shield to surrounding nearby allies. So the moment that they go in, they just pop in the Locket and it's almost like all their damage is being done. So right now, as you can see, Alvernia is just, oh my goodness, Evan Cakes might have overextended. Oh, he goes, he kills on a minion to escape. The Molotov does nothing. He lives. He lives. Oh my God, they can't even kill the Amumu support.
I was ready to write him off.
Oh no.
The Watermelon God might die for Evan's sins though. The shutdown goes over to the Misfortune. Wydock looks like he might... Oh, never mind.
Oh,
never mind. Pepperdine is 10k gold up. Nothing bad will ever happen to them again. I was ready to white off Evan Cakes, but he... Wow, that was really fun from Pepperdine. And, you know, that's where you do see the 10k, now 12 or 11k gold difference really come into effect, because if Pepperdine was not that far ahead, that fight would have been disastrous for Pepperdine. But unfortunately for Alvernia, Pepperdine just has that wiggle room that their advantages have allowed them.
Very well played from Evan Cakes. Now, you and I both initially thought at first, what is he doing? He's overextending. We have no vision on the enemy jungle. He would have died for a pink ward, which is not what Pepperdine needs right now, right? By killing a Mumu there, that could have actually brought in, that could have actually turned the favors in favor of Alvernia University, because now they lost a valuable frontline engage. But you saw that Evan used a bandage toss on a minion to escape, and Misfortune's ultimate just wasn't enough because she's so behind. Now, it did look bad at Pepperdine initially because it actually was a 1-for-2. Pepperdine did lose the majority of the players, but Wydock just masterfully kiting on Draven, and the amount of damage he's dishing out just gives him enough time for Santomasi to come in and just secure the rest of the kill. Overall, an absolute disaster for Alvernia University. You can see right here that the Watermelon God is just continuing to go. Why are we TPing here? Why does it TP for that? That tower was immediately
Wydock is caught out here potentially. I think he will go down here with the shutdown going over to the Jarvan. Really, Viego here is Alvernia's one and only hope, but they are still 12k gold down. This Baron's going to go over to Pepperdine, and you have the Watermelon God really pressuring in the bot lane when this fight comes out.
Oh, that was a really nice... Oh my God! It's a disaster! You saw the Amumu went into the Jack MLS Diana ult, and it doesn't matter. You got a 3-man shockwave, but for what? Just to buy the game an extra minute or two. Now, that was a really poor TP from Orianna. After we saw the Watermelon God put down that Rift Herald, the initial charge and distance of which the Rift Herald was at was... It was no-brainer that tower was gonna go down immediately. That was a really poor choice of TP. She loses a valuable summoner spell, and the Watermelon God gets all the tier 2 turret gold. As we know with the recent changes, the tier 2 turret does give a lot of gold. He got that all for himself, baby, and Sed is just looking like a boss right now.
Yeah, Pepperdine now has about a 15, 16k gold difference in their advantage, and
did you see Jarvan blast plant in place?
You know,
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. We try not to point those things out out of respect and dignity, but you know, Alvernia is desperate. They probably are a little bit tilted too, but honestly, the fact that they're still putting up such an effort in playing through this game is a testament to their mental. Pepperdine will get this Infernal Drake, leading the to the 4th Drake, but I don't know if we'll even get to that point here in this game. Pepperdine has such an advantage here.
It's really hard because as Alvernia continues to lose more and more, their windows of coming back gets less and less. Because during the 15-minute mark, when Pepperdine was still up from I believe it was like 6 to, I don't know, but I think it was like 6-3, right? Alvernia still had a chance if they were able to catch off individual solo laners or people who were just overextending, like they did onto Wydog when he died in the mid lane when Jarvan IV got his shutdown. Had they just been continuing doing that, Alvernia would have been in a really good spot. That is a nice chain CC combo from the
Santomasi 1v2,
right
taking
it just
down
doesn't matter.
Cat 420. We said the wrong number earlier. It's 420, remember?
Yeah. 420. See,
Jack MLM is here, and now Viego is just really caught out and goes down to Jack MLM.
This is just Alvernia trying really hard to make something happen, which is valiant, you know, because they have to, something has to happen now. Because at this rate, at the rate of just how big this goal differential is in favor of Pepperdine, the only way Alvernia wins is if Pepperdine makes these crucial mistakes that Alvernia can punish.
Yeah.
Right there, you saw that Cat 420 and Viego landed really nice chain CCs on the Santomasi, but it just didn't matter because he was just so far ahead. Santomasi is 12-0, had 3 items at the time as compared to the combined 2 of Cat 420 and Viego. So while that was well played by Alvernia, just the massive lead that Santomasi had on this Yasuo, it just doesn't really matter. Cat 420 is looking to engage. Now this is really good because there is no Yasuo, however, it only lands on the set. Watermelon God goes in. Nice chain CC from Evan right there. Cat 420 does fall down to Jack MLM. Wydog is just counter-engaging. Oh my god! Did you see that shockwave, bro? Oh my goodness, that was a really nice shockwave, but it just, I don't think it matters because they're just so far behind. That was a really nice ultimate from the Misfortune. Valiant last stand right there, but it just doesn't matter.
But this is probably game. This game versus Alvernia will ultimately go to Pepperdine.
Yeah. That was a really valiant effort from Alvernia University. That was an amazing 3-man knockup from Jarvan, followed up by the 3-man shockwave into the Misfortune ultimate. But you know, as we just keep repeating over and over again, this the massive lead that they have is just tragic because that was so well played. But valiant effort, valiant last stand. That was an amazing play from Alvernia University right there. Really good use of their champion's abilities. But Pepperdine reigns on top. That is a GG, good game from both.
Yeah, and as we come back to the caster screen where you can see our lovely faces, we would just like to reiterate a good game to Alvernia. Of course, there's still 3 minutes left technically before chat catches up with us and knows that we were able to pull this one out, but we hope that everybody will, when that comes up, give them some GGs in the chat, because really that was a valiant effort, and Pepperdine just was able to pull it out with some very, very good plays. I would like to also reiterate that we did see the patented Santo Zero Death Santomasi with that, I think it was like something like 14-0 and 5 Yasuo there at the end. Normally the Yasuos in my game have the numbers in a slightly different order, but that was just really impressive from everybody at Pepperdine, and a great showing from Jack MLM, one of the newer players, and just everyone who's been a part of Pepperdine.
Overall, well played from both teams. Pepperdine really on the same page right here. They were on top of every play. Everything had a reasoning behind it. And for Alvernia, you know, props to them. You know, they did really well. They fought as hard as they could. You know, they tried to make things happen despite their disadvantage, which is always valiant, not like my teams in solo queue who dies and then leaves the game right after, right? But, you know, on the bright side for Alvernia, I feel like a lot of the things that went wrong in this game can be easily fixed. I feel like the biggest downfall was just their draft and how well Pepperdine responded to it. So if anything, I'd be willing to argue that if Alvernia, you know, just polishes up these drafts, they might have been the ones that came out on top instead. But regardless, really well played from Alvernia, and it was a nice game for both teams.
Definitely. And a great game to come back to. And hopefully, in the coming weeks, as we continue to broadcast, we'll be in our new broadcast station, proudly funded by the Pepperdine Student Government Association. And we'll be able just to continue broadcasting these high quality League of Legends collegiate games for all of you lovely Twitch viewers. Before we head out, we would just like to remind you that there are now new ways you can support Pepperdine Esports. You can subscribe to this Twitch channel and donate bits because, again, we're real streamers now, which is totally cool. But you can also donate directly to our program. There is a link to donate with a button in the description or the under part of this stream. I'm a professional streamer. I'm
not.
I'm joking completely. And there are also ways that you can support us through buying our merch. So if this win inspired a sense of pride in Pepperdine Esports in your heart, you can go pick up a Pepperdine Esports mask to wear on campus, a hoodie that you can customize with your own gamer tag, as well as other items there as well. So thank you very much for tuning in to our broadcast today. And we will see you in the next one. Alex, is there anything you want to say before we head off?
Yeah, just to repeat myself, good games from both teams. Thank you, Alvernia. Thank you, Pepperdine. Well played from both sides. You guys gave us one heck of a time to watch. It was really fun. So thank you and good game to both teams. Keep fighting, and then maybe one day we can see these teams fight again. We'll never know. But either way, keep fighting, aiming for the top. I know both teams have it within them to become even greater than what they already are. So once again, GG's, both teams, well played, and thank you for the fun game.
Wonderful. See you next time we broadcast. Check our social media channels at Pep Esports as well as the Pepperdine Gaming Club Discord to get your notifications. Bye-bye.
Bye.